Our first order of business this evening, and we want to take care of this right now, is to welcome the gentleman who will give us our invocation for this evening. He is Dr. Anthony Davis, the president of Livingstone College.
Let us bow our heads. Even in silence, O God, we feel your presence. And to the God of Abraham, Abel, and Absalom, Benjamin, Boaz, Barak, Rebekah, Rachel, Rahab, Hannah, Hadassah, and Harriet, to the God of Martin, Malcolm, and Mandela, to the God who stepped out from behind the curtain of nowhere onto the platform of nothing and said something, and that something he said came to be. The same God in whom we all live, move, and have our being. To the God who ordered, orchestrated, and ordained our being here tonight. For that, we are so grateful. For it wasn't too long ago, oh God, a pandemic robbed us of the experience of gathering together in person. However, this evening, even while COVID-19 is still a reality, we gather in the spirit of a collective, compassionate community, different races, different religions, different realities, but yet we gather under the intentional act of inclusion, where everyone is vital, everyone is valued, and everyone has a voice. But as we gather tonight safely, here in the West End Plaza without fear, let us be mindful of the people of Ukraine who live daily under the constant threats of rocket attacks. Let us be mindful of communities plagued by gun violence. And God, we're thankful for the courageous leaders in our community, past and present. And God, we would be remiss if we did not pause to thank you for providing for us. Because all we ever needed, your hand has provided. Thank you for being the source of our supply. And because you are the source of our strength and supply, our prayer tonight is that every business entity under the sound of my voice will walk in their season of prosperity. And when this happens, let us not forget the least of these, the unsheltered, the underserved, the under-resourced, the ones who are food insecure, the ones who live in food deserts, the ones who do not have access to adequate health care. Let's be mindful of the ones who travel miles looking for a better life, only to be loaded up onto buses and dropped off in strange cities. God, give us a spirit of compassion as we celebrate all that has been accomplished this year. Let us collectively commit to being compassionate and comparing citizens. We need to calibrate our conscience and sing in unison that great hymn that says, if I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with a word or a song, if I can show somebody that they are traveling wrong, then our living shall not be in vain. Thank you, God, for this gathering. Amen.
Thank you very much, Dr. Davis. Please continue to enjoy your meal this evening while I speak. Here we are, 97 years of the Rowan Chamber, 97 annual meetings. This is the 97th one. And I thought to myself as I came in here tonight, I wonder what the very first annual chamber meeting was like. And then I thought, let's just ask Terry Osborne. He was here. Why not? Why not? Well, we're all here tonight gathered for a good time. We're going to have a wonderful time, and I know everybody in the room is thinking pretty much the same thing. Gary Blabon, can I borrow that suit? Everybody on the same page on that. But here we are in this marvelous historic structure. This used to be J.C. Penney, ladies and gentlemen. This was J.C. Penney. The last time I stood right here, I was returning a Mother's Day gift. So it's just such history in this room. And, you know, in honor of the fact that we're gathered in the former JCPenney location, if you win an award tonight, your second award is 30% off. All right? All right. Just a few things going on there. But this is called, now let me get this right, Bourbon, Bling, and Bow Ties. Bourbon, bling, and bow ties. I see a lot of bow ties in the room. There's a lot of bling in this room, a lot of bling. And it's interesting that the annual committee chaired by Kristen Trexler, Novant Health Rowan Medical Center, chose this interesting theme. You did. Did you know, now you probably didn't know this when you planned it, but West End Plaza does not allow liquor by the drink here. We have beer, we have wine, but they do not allow liquor by the drink in here, so we're playing by the rules tonight. We ask if you win, please don't drink it till you get somewhere else. But thanks to New Serum for the Bourbon Barrel, Old 97 porter and bourbon flavored menu items by the Smoke Pit. Can we have a nice big round of applause for all these folks? Some amazing food. But I'm going to give you tonight, someone has prepared for me some amazing facts about bourbon that should not go in. Are we allowed to talk about bourbon, Elaine? Can we at least talk about it? We can say the word bourbon. Okay, here we go. All right, did you know that all bourbons are whiskey? However, not all whiskeys are bourbon. How many of you knew that? Raise your hands. You knew that, okay. Some of you have consumed, I can tell. You have to have 51% corn mash in bourbon. Most whiskey is a combination of rye, wheat, and malted barley, just in case you were wondering. All right, do you know what Angel's Share means when it comes to bourbon? Well, you wrote this, Elaine. Come on now, you wrote this. Angel's Share refers to the portion of bourbon that evaporates in the aging process. It goes up into the sky for the angels to enjoy. It's a little heaven for the angels there. Did you know that the hole in a bourbon barrel for emptying the product is called a bung hole? Elaine, I've been called a bung hole. I understand. So you've learned a few things about bourbon tonight. Oh, by the way, on that note, for the annual meeting this evening, please let us recognize our committee, our annual meeting committee, for all the hard work they have done coming up with this creative theme. Would you all stand up right now so we can give you a little bit of applause there, Kristen? Tonight's 97th annual. Thank you so much for all of your hard work. All right, what a fantastic way to celebrate another fantastic year for the Chamber, and we have 3 goals tonight, and there are only 3. Recognize our very special volunteers and pass the gavel to our next leader. Celebrate this wonderful community in which we live, and simply enjoy the evening, have a lot of fun, and borrow Gary Blabon's suit later if you possibly can. All right, we want to give a nice big round of applause for our sponsors this evening. You'll see them on the screen here. As I read them off, hold your applause to the very end, if you would, please. Title sponsor, of course, Novant Health Rowan Medical Center. Thank you so much for being our title sponsor. Our program sponsors this evening, Duke Energy Carolinas, F&M Bank, Global Contact Services, Trinity Oaks Lutheran Services Carolina. We also want to thank our corporate sponsors this evening. Let's see them on the screen as well. And I'll read them all for you. Delhayes Food Lion, LLC, Catawba College, City of Salisbury, Fisher Realty Incorporated, Godley's Garden Center, Healthcare Management Consultants, Holmes Iron and Metal Incorporated. I think I can see this. Do I have this right? Mantangira Recycling. Perfect, okay. Johnson Concrete, Vulcan Materials Company, Kannapolis Cannonballers, and our good friends at Livingstone College. Ladies and gentlemen, give them a big round of applause. There's more. Here we go with more. Miller Davis, our friends at Miller Davis, Minority Business Council, the North Carolina Transportation Museum, Osteros Outdoors Incorporated, Patterson Farms Incorporated, Rowan Cabarrus Community College, Rowan County Government, Rowan County Tourism, Rowan EDC, the Salisbury Post, South State Bank, Southern Power, Terry Osborne, and Walzer Technology Group. How about a big round of applause for them? And that's all. That's all. We had a lot of sponsors, though, this year, and there are a lot of people here tonight, and doesn't it feel good to get out again? Feels good to be here again. All right, we have some special guests that we want to be sure that we introduce this evening and make sure you get to know a little bit better. Hold your applause until all are introduced. U.S. Senate Tom Tillis's federal staffer, Stephanie Blair, is here. U.S. Senate Ted Budd's federal staffer, Kyle Bridges, is here with us tonight. State Representative Harry Warren. Where are you, Harry? Stand up, take a bow. There he is back there. Hi, Harry. Good to see you again. Rowan County Commission Chair Greg Eds, the Vice Chair Jim Green, and Commissioner Judy Klusman are all here with us this evening, and we're proud to have them with us too. Our Rowan County Sheriff Travis Allen is here with us this evening as well. Salisbury Mayor Karen Alexander, I think I saw right over there just a little bit ago. Mayor Pro Tem Tamara Sheffield, Council Members Harry McLaughlin, David Post, and Anthony Smith. Would you all stand together and sing a little something for us there, over there. Good to have you all here. China Grove Town Council members Don Bringle and Cheryl Sheets are with us this evening, if they would stand. Cleveland Mayor Pat Pfeiffer joins us as well this evening. East Spencer Mayor Barbara Mallett, Mayor Pro Tem Sean Rush, Alderman Dolores High, and Albert Smith are here with us. Please stand and take a bow. We're glad to have you here. Let's go over to Granite Quarry now, where we have the Mayor, Brittany Barnhart, with us tonight. Good to have you here, Brittany. Landis Mayor Meredith Bear Smith here tonight. Yeah, see her waving over there. Spencer Alderman Pat Sledge joins us as well this evening, along with Rockwell Alderman Dylan Brewer. Glad to have you both here this evening. Rowan Salisbury School Board members Alicia Bird Clark and Sabrina Harris are with us this evening. Where are you? Over there, over here. Yes, thank you so much for being here. All right, here we go. Some education leaders in Rowan County. Our Rowan Salisbury School Superintendent, Dr. Kelly Withers, is with us this evening. Kelly, wherever you are, glad to have you here. Yeah, Catawba College President, Dr. David Nelson is here. David, nice to have you here. Livingstone College President, Dr. Anthony Davis, gave us our invocation just a little bit earlier this evening. Rowan Cabarrus Community College President, Dr. Carol Spalding, is here with us as well. That is a lineup of special guests. Give them all a big round of applause. Also, finally, we want to take a moment and recognize the past chamber chairs of the board and all of our current and former chamber board members. How special you have been to all of us through the years. Would you please stand and be recognized? If you're a past chamber chair or board, or all the former chamber board members, stand up, all of you. You deserve a big round of applause. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time now to introduce our community partners. So I would like to ask if Rod Kreider, President of the Rowan Economic Development Council, will please come forward, and he will be followed on the stage tonight by James Meacham, CEO of the Rowan Tourism Development Authority. Give them a nice welcome to the stage.
Is that me? Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Last year I spoke to you about how great it was for all of us to be back together following COVID and all the progress that we had made during those 2 years that we hadn't gotten together. And this year I come to you to say that the progress is continuing to build momentum. In fact, we may mark 2022 as a tipping point for Rowan County, a year in which we move from laggard to leader in our region's economy. I say that because we crossed some important thresholds last year, and I don't think there's any turning back from them. We all know the story of our past 20 years. We had the largest single layoff in North Carolina history. We lost more industries during the Great Recession, and then the COVID pandemic killed even more businesses. But Rowan County has been scratching and clawing its way back to prosperity. We developed new tools and new ways of working together. We've had some successes that gave us confidence that we could win. And it seems to me that 2022 will prove that those past successes were not just flukes, but rather the establishment of a new long-term pattern of growth and prosperity for our county. I want to review with you some of the things that happened last year to mark 2022 as a turning point for Rowan County. First, there was Macy's, the iconic retail brand, who chose Rowan County as ground zero for its strategy to modernize for future growth. In announcing its new 1.4 million square foot distribution facility with 2,800 new jobs and an investment of over $500 million, it became the largest new project announcement in Rowan County history. Second, developers continued to be bullish on Rowan County with announcements of over 22 million square feet of new speculative space and billions of dollars of new investment. And that's a 50% increase over what I reported to you last year. This is the largest amount of planned spec space in any county in the Charlotte region, and it caused the Charlotte Business Journal to identify Rowan County as now being one of the hottest industrial real estate markets in the area. Yeah. Thirdly, our average wages in Rowan County rose to above $50,000 for the first time ever. This is the fourth highest average wage in the metro region and the 14th highest in the entire state of North Carolina. Also in June, this one is a little more obscure, but our labor force grew to just under 68,000 persons. The last time that we had that many in our labor force was in December of 2009. And that just proves that we are working our way out of, we're building a workforce that is going to exceed our pre-Great Recession levels. We're still not there yet, but we have some elasticity in that and some room for additional growth. Also, last year, the Rowan EDC received the highest number of leads in our history from businesses that were looking to expand or relocate. And we also had the highest number of visits by prospects who were interested in locating their business here. The new buildings that are coming into our market are going to generate demand for up to 30,000 new employees. And we prepared for it last year by launching a talent attraction campaign to gain a larger share of the 110 people who move to the region every day. Right now, we're only getting about 6% of those people who are moving into the Charlotte region, and we need to do a better job of attracting people to live and to work here. Our focus is shifting from business attraction to talent attraction because communities are now competing for investment on the basis of their talent assets, not just their buildings and their incentives. So with all of these firsts, I think it's safe to say that we'll continue to build momentum for many years to come, but it's also not a time for us to rest on our laurels. Our history tells us that we must be vigilant, recognize the changes in the market, and adjust in real time, just as we have been doing for many years now. And with that outlook and attitude, we can continue to build a Rowan County that increases prosperity, reduces poverty, and improves the quality of life for all. We look forward to working with all of you on making continued progress towards these guiding principles in 2023. Thank you.
Let's hear it again for EDC and all the wonderful things they're doing. Well, good evening. Hope everyone here is having a wonderful time tonight. You know, we were asked to think about reflecting on 2022 as we got up here. Sometimes we find the simplest things are those most often overlooked. Yet when applied, they can be the most valuable. So with that thought in mind, accept on my behalf, my teams, the tourism board, all the organizations and the businesses and the amazing workers that make up the local tourism industry, a genuine thank you to each and every one of you for everything you do, making Rowan County an original and welcoming place to visit. Additionally, let's make sure we give a heartfelt thank you goes out to each and every one of you guys for being here. You've committed your time, your talents, and your treasures to show up tonight in support of Rowan County and its continued success. Also, especially for all the dedicated volunteers that have made this event possible, to the committed hospitality staff and the audio-visual team serving us tonight. And please join me with a special thanks for the Chamber of Commerce, much appreciation needs to go to their steadfast commitment for decades to this event, such as this one that continue to provide opportunities for all of us to gather, not only as a community, but also gather as friends, gather in fellowship, and recognition in each other. So just in case when you leave tonight, someone forgets to say to you, thank you, please accept this thanks. My hope is that you leave tonight knowing someone is grateful for you and the work you do every day. Looking back and recapping last year certainly requires thought and reflection of what transpired for us. Regardless of your beliefs or your viewpoints, when reflecting and seeking wisdom, guidance can be found in many different sources. One such source is the Bible. Two pieces of scripture come to mind that are very applicable to the hospitality industry when identifying what tourism strives for in terms of providing hospitality, both for economic reasons and also for personal reasons. The first is in 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 9. This verse tells us to show hospitality to one another without grumbling. Now, I don't know about you, but that's been a really hard piece of scripture to follow these last couple of years. It's okay to laugh. You understand what that was. And it seems to get harder and harder each day. The scripture is essentially conveying that if we complain while providing hospitality, such as through the food that we provide to folks, the lodging we provide, how we greet each other at our businesses, how we greet each other in the community, or just generally when we're asked to help, that through those complaints, we are not showing true hospitality. This is because hospitality is designed to be the glad reception of the stranger, or as we like to say, the welcoming of a visitor. So our hope should be that true hospitality engages the visitor, that Rowan County truly engages and welcomes people. Whether it's a friend, a coworker, or a stranger, we greet them both with open hearts and open hands. This approach to hospitality through tourism was especially difficult last year and is carried over into this year, but with a twist. And the reason why behind that twist is simple. We have some wonderful economic news to share with you regarding tourism. That 2022 was the best year ever by every single metric we measure for tourism. Some of these records range from all-time highs at our lodging businesses, with records in occupancy, revenue, room rates, and the total number of overnight guests, which equaled just over 700,000 people staying overnight in Rowan County last year. So just think about that for a moment. 700,000 visitors stayed in Rowan County last year. That is almost 5 times our population. That is 60,000 people a month, that's larger than the city of Salisbury, staying over, or better yet, that's 2,000 people staying in our community every night. Last year also highlighted a robust return to some of Rowan County's wonderful events, including Cheerwine Festival, Farmers Day, we brought the Little League World Series back, a day out with Thomas, and the ever popular Polar Express, which sold out, selling over 60,000 tickets. And I heard Don Bringle's name, and if it wasn't for a hurricane, we would have held Autumn Jubilee too. Now back to my earlier comments about hospitality challenges. One might ask, if it was a record year, then why was being hospitable so challenging? And that, my friends, is because the records ran the gambit of both positive and negative records. Rowan County Tourism did experience record revenues, record growth, record profitability across the board. We witnessed the most money ever spent in Rowan County by visitors, and it was coupled with the fastest wage growth we've ever seen in the hospitality sector. But at the same time, we were experiencing record job vacancies, record supply shortages, and record stress on tourism and hospitality businesses, organizations, and especially the workforce. Simply put, making money in hospitality was never better last year, but it was also never harder. This uneasy and simultaneous pairing of positive and negative records has resulted in the busiest and most profitable, yet most stressful year in our local tourism industry, greatly impacting the businesses, the organizations, and the workforce. Now, we have continued to see success, and we're moving forward into 2023. The record revenues are still being set, and some of the stresses are bringing themselves down. I've had the honor and privilege of leading Rowan County Tourism for 16 years now, and serving in the hospitality for 23, and I've learned it is one of the most resilient industries and is a collection of some of the most dedicated and committed people who want to provide hospitality without grumbling. They strive to take care of others while they visit, whether it be for a meal, an overnight event, or stay. So in closing, please allow me to reference the second scripture I brought up that really captures the important for all of us tonight, and I would hope each and every one of us would take this home with you. That to be hospitable, to be grateful, and to care for others, even when grumbling seems the preferred route, it is one that I've used many times in my life, and this scripture comes to us from Hebrews chapter 13, verse 2. It tells us to show hospitality to strangers, for they may be angels from God showing up as your guest. I know I personally have fallen short of that, and many of us do, but may we continue to recognize the visitors at our door, that Rowan County is a hospitable and welcoming place, and may we continue to greet 700,000 and maybe 800,000 next year to Rowan County. Thank you again, and God bless.
Wow. Some amazing statistics of growth and some good news for Rowan County. So glad to hear that. Well, thank you so much, Rod and James. And now it's my pleasure to turn the podium over to the Chamber President, Elaine Spaulding. She has over 30 years of chamber experience, having worked for chambers of commerce in Texas, Oregon, Kentucky, and right here in North Carolina. She's been the Rowan County Chamber President since May of 2013, and tonight, of course, she will conduct the official annual meeting part of our program. Please welcome Elaine Spaulding.
Good evening, and isn't Kent doing a great job as our MC this evening? Let's give him a big round of applause. We're so honored to have Kent Barnhart here as our MC. You were here maybe, it was pre-pandemic. We're dating everything like it happened before the pandemic or after the pandemic. It was pre-pandemic, where we're really glad to have you back here as our official MC for the evening. And I would like to recognize our chamber staff. I know they're in the back of the room. They're still working hard, but would Erica Church, Tina Jamison Cowan, and Carol Lewis please stand, and let's thank them for all their hard work they do for the Rowan Chamber. It's my privilege to introduce your 2022 Chair of the Board, Brad Walser. And I just want to talk a little bit about, we would always call him up to the podium all year long, but there's some fun facts to know about Brad, too. So, of course, Brad's the owner of Walser Technology Group, and they're an information technology service company with 12 employees. This year, they're celebrating their 20th business anniversary here in our community, and of course, they operate their business out of a historic building in downtown Salisbury. Those of you who run entrepreneurial businesses know how hard it is to take time away for volunteer activities, but Brad Walser gave of his time and talent over and over again and really helped all of us in the Paul E. Fisher Gateway building with all of our technology needs, and we really appreciate that, Brad, for you and your team. Brad is a native of Rowan County, Salisbury High School alum, Leadership Rowan alum, a graduate of App State University's John A. Walker School of Business with a degree in Information Systems. He and his wife Dana have 3 children, so please let's give a big welcome to the stage for your 2022 Chair of the Board, Brad Walser.
I love my classes. I got a crazy teacher who wears dark glasses. Things are going great, and they're only getting better.
It's a little dark up here, just so you know. I'll hope I get my notes here with the glasses on. And as many of you know, on March 10th of last year, we had our delayed due to COVID annual meeting. I wore my sunglasses that night on stage to signify Rowan County's bright future. I'm happy to report the Chamber had a very bright and successful year last year. Tonight, I did not want Terry Osborne to tackle me by bringing up an unlicensed bourbon drink on stage, but I am wearing my bling with upgraded sunglasses, as well as a bow tie to fit this year's theme of bourbon, bling, and bow ties. I'm not sure I have ever worn this much bedazzled goods in my life, but this is for you, Kristen Trexler. Great job to you and your team with the theme this year, so great job. Thank goodness 2022 has allowed things to get returned closer to normal with our in-person and hybrid meetings that we were able to have throughout 2022. Last year, we partnered with the Rowan EDC on a new talent attraction plan and took money out of our reserve funds to support this very important effort for our community. The Chamber has continued to serve the business community in new and creative ways, which I'm proud, and I'm very proud of that work that we're doing. Let me cover just a few of the highlights here with you tonight. In business advocacy, we fought hard and were successful in retaining important service jobs with our VA hospital. We've advocated for our businesses at the federal, state, and local government levels. The Government Affairs Committee conducted a Raleigh trip this year, has held quarterly mayor's roundtables and regular monthly business advocacy meetings. We held a candidate forum to educate voters on the important election for our Rowan Salisbury School Board candidates. In our education and workforce development, we had our Workforce Development Alliance, and that has continued to meet virtually and are matching the needs of the employers with the education and training resources. Many of our employers are struggling right now to find jobs or to find workers. We had some great statistics earlier from James and from Rod, so that's echoing those effects. Spring and fall job fairs were scheduled and to address the numerous job openings in our area. Leadership Rowan celebrated its 30th anniversary. Leadership Rowan has graduated over 775 graduates through that program. Yes, it's a wonderful program. As Elaine mentioned, I'm alum. We've put quite a few of our employees through. It is a great program if you haven't done it. Our agribusiness, we conducted the annual Salute to Agribusiness and coordinated the Arts and Ag Farm Tour. We have Membership and Marketing Committee, and we had our Dragon Vote Festival. We had the most teams ever with 32 teams and over 5,000 attendees on a very hot day this last July. Yes, thank you to Daniel. Daniel, you do a wonderful job with that fundraiser. So we have targeted programs to better serve our members. We have our Minority Business Council. This group has really thrived with virtual meetings, has had many great monthly programs. Our Young Professionals. It's an active group with a mix of professional development and networking events. We have our Women in Business. And I hear these are great events as well that have monthly programs for the women in our community. Power and Partnership. We had 9 Power and Partnerships this year with excellent speakers, sponsors, and an average of 120 attendees from September through May. Our ambassadors, there were 32 ribbon cuttings and special member celebrations were held in 2022. Our after-hour mixers, there were 10 mixers that have been very well attended with our generous sponsors that do sponsor those events. Our Total Resource Campaign, Elaine Holden led a very successful campaign with 42 new members, which exceeded our goal of 30 new members. And from a financial perspective, we're being good stewards of our members' investment. The Chamber has taken some money from the reserve funds for the very important new initiative that we did with the Talent Attraction Program with the EDC. However, we still have a very healthy cash balance. I'd like to give a big thank you to my 2022 Executive Committee. We have Elaine Holden, who is your chair-elect, with the North Carolina Transportation Museum Foundation. We have Dr. Andrew Smith, who's our Division Chair of Education and Workforce Development, and he's with North Carolina Education. We have Alan Burke, who's our Treasurer with Alan Burke CPA. We have Terry Osborne, who's our Division Chair of Business Advocacy, and he works with the Rowan County ABC Board. We have Starling Johnson Conclamanos, who's our Division Chair of Membership with Johnson Concrete. We have Bob Honeycutt, who's our past chair with F&M Bank, and of course we have Elaine Spalding, who's our president. So a big round of applause to my executive committee this year. They've done a wonderful job. I want to say thank you to everyone who's helped make the Chamber a success this last year, and I look forward to continuing my work with Elaine and the 2023 board as my role goes to immediate past chair. Speaking of Elaine, I would like to call her to the podium for the passing of the gavel presentation. Elaine works for the North Carolina Transportation Museum Foundation and previously worked at Catawba College. As my last official duty on behalf of the Rowan County Chamber Board of Directors, it's my honor to pass the gavel to Elaine Holden, your 2023 Chair of the Board. So.
Thank you, Brad. As everyone knows, this has been a very busy year once again for the Chamber. And Brad, you have done a fantastic job, especially when I got the text at 12:01 on January 1st to say, Happy New Year, it's yours. But it is my great pleasure to present to you this plaque in recognition of your year as Chair of the Board. Please join me in thanking Brad for all his volunteer service to the Chamber. I don't have the bling glasses. I've got the reading glasses, but I said my goal today was to out-bling Gary Blaybon. I am honored to serve as the Rowan Chamber's Chair of the Board for 2023. And as we have said, this is the 97th annual meeting for our region's largest business advocacy organization. And we are already planning for our big 100th anniversary celebration in 2026. Mark your calendars now. The Chamber recently conducted a membership survey, and I am pleased to share some of the results with you. 95% of our members are satisfied or very satisfied with their membership. Business advocacy, education, workforce development, and talent attraction remain our members' top priorities. In terms of the economy, 43% of our survey respondents increased business in 2022. 43% stayed the same, and only 9% saw a decrease in business. 58% anticipate an increase in business over the next 12 months, 34% anticipate staying the same, and 5% anticipate a decrease. Survey participants continue to struggle to find and maintain a quality workforce. The results from the survey match the key focus areas for the Chamber this year. At the Chamber's Board Retreat in October of 2022, we established the following top priorities that I am pleased to highlight. 1, to expand the talent attraction plan in conjunction with the Rowan EDC to attract targeted skilled trade workers to our community, to be intentional about attracting and welcoming diverse newcomers. Number 2, to advocate for improved transportation, water, and sewer infrastructure and broadband access for the growing number of businesses and residents moving into our communities. Number 3 is 2 parts. The first is to engage a successful entrepreneurial development strategy supporting innovative startups and encouraging existing business owners who want to expand their business headquarters. And part 2 of the third priority is for the Chamber to be the link between education and business, to create a work-based learning hub connecting students with age-appropriate business engagement from K-12 to higher education training opportunities. The Chamber is blessed to have many hardworking volunteers, and I am in awe of those who serve alongside me on the Executive Committee. Please join me in recognizing our 2023 Executive Committee. Chair-elect and Division Chair of Government Affairs, Terry Osborne, with the Rowan Kannapolis ABC Board. Treasurer, Alan Burke of Alan Burke CPA. Division Chair of Education and Workforce Development, Dr. Andrew Smith with the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction. Division Chair of Membership, Starling Johnson Kakalamanis with Johnson Concrete, celebrating their 75th anniversary this year. Immediate past Chair, Brad Walser of Walser Technology Group. And of course, Chamber President, Elaine Spalding. And please help me in welcoming our new board members for 2023. Natasha Bringer with Food Lion, Rosalind Hines with Wagner Realty, Dr. Connie Lowry with Catawba College, Molly Ruff with Rowan EDC, Vince Marcucci with the Kannapolis Cannonballers, and Stacy White with Rowan Salisbury School Career and Technical Education. If we can give them all a round of applause, I'd appreciate it. We appreciate all of our continuing board members as well and community partners whose names are listed in your program, and I hope that you take a look at them this evening. I would also like to take a moment to thank our chamber staff. Elaine Spalding already recognized them, but your chamber's dedicated staff includes Erica Church, Tina Jamison Cowan, and Carol Lewis. They each serve as our ambassadors and truly guide the work of our organization. Thank you so much, ladies, for all your hard work. It makes our job a whole lot easier, so thank you. I am looking forward to another successful year for our Rowan Chamber. We are stronger because of each of you, our chamber members, and the organizations you represent. Continue to stay involved and encourage our young people, our young professionals, to get involved too. We appreciate your investment in the chamber and pledge to be strong business advocates for the community. On a personal note, I especially want to thank a group of people who took a chance on me in the fall of 2019. Kelly Alexander, Executive Director of the North Carolina Transportation Museum, and Roy Johnson, President of the Board of Directors at the North Carolina Transportation Museum Foundation. I was offered an opportunity to work with a dedicated and dynamic group of people who bring out the very best when we think about transportation history in North Carolina and large-scale family entertainment like the Polar Express and the many other events that we host at the museum. To members of my work family sitting in the room tonight, I thank you for the support you give me each day that I serve on the chamber board and the time that I work alongside you. You truly, truly are the best. Finally, to my husband, Tyler, thank you for being here tonight. And more importantly, thank you for encouraging me, loving me, and putting up with me. It's not easy, but I'm glad you chose to do it 27 years ago and continue each and every day. When you stand next to Gary Blaybon, you know there is no such thing as too much bling. So let's have a great year doing the work and engaging in the fun that makes up the Rowan Chamber. Thank you.
I think she's going to do an amazing job and needs more applause than that right there. Here we go. Elaine, thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this particular time of the program, it is now time for the awards presentation. And the very first award that we're going to be presenting this evening is a brand new award for Young Professional of the Year. It's going to be presented tonight by Kristen Trexler, who is our annual meeting chair. Welcome her to the stage right now, if you would.
All right. Good evening, everyone. We are so excited to add this award to the Rowan Chamber's annual meeting. The Young Professional Award is designed to recognize someone who's given their time and talent to help other young professionals. Their criterion for this award includes a chamber member who has provided a leadership role in the Young Professionals program. They have attended at least 80% of the Young Professionals events in 2022 and donated time and resources willingly, enthusiastically to the Young Professionals group. The Chamber's executive committee was unanimous in their decision to select the first Young Professional of the Year. This individual has provided leadership over the past 4 years of the Young Professionals program. She has booked speakers and venues for our events. She has recruited sponsors to help offset the costs for the Young Professionals Dragon Boat team and many other community events. Most importantly, she has reached out to so many new residents in our community and encouraged them to get involved with us, and in hopes that they would love this community as much as she does, and that they will decide to actually stay here. So that's really what it's all about, retaining our young professionals in our own community. This year's winner recently made a career move herself from Miller Davis to the EDC as their new marketing director. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me recognize the Young Professional of the Year award winner, Molly Roof with the Rowan EDC.
I've tried to cut these corners, tried to take the easy way. I kept on falling short of something.
Thank you so much. I'm not gonna lie, my husband gave me a heads up because he knows I hate surprises. He's in Daytona working the 24 hours of Daytona right now, so Kristen tried to get him here. Alas, she failed. Thank you guys so much. As someone who's not originally from here, this community has really embraced me, and I've really embraced it. And I appreciate all of you, and I really hope you will come to our Young Professionals events. Those of you in the room, I see many friendly faces, but there's lots of new faces here that maybe haven't been reached out to yet. And if I had had that group when I first moved here, it wouldn't have taken me so long to have friends, amazing friends like Kristen and Vincia and Michelle and everyone. So please come to our events. They're a lot of fun. It's not just about drinking, but we do have a cocktail too. And there's cards on your table for some of our upcoming events, so please take those and register. And we are looking for sponsors, and so if you're interested in sponsoring our events, please reach out to me. My email's on the EDC website. So thank you so much.
Did you notice how strong her voice got there at the end for those last comments there? Very good. All right, our second award for the evening, ladies and gentlemen, is the Paul E. Fisher Volunteer of the Year Award. Tonight, this award is presented by Mr. Brad Walzer, minus the glasses. Here he comes again. You can applaud for Brad while he walks up. It's just Brad without the glasses.
I do have the glasses in my pocket, but I figure it's going to be a little easier to read this time without the glasses. So it is my honor to present the Paul E. Fisher Chamber Volunteer of the Year Award. Brother Paul is a great guy. We all miss him dearly. The criterion for this award includes the Rowan Chamber volunteer that embodies the ideals of volunteerism and provides leadership in a key area, has made significant contributions towards the goals and missions of the Chamber, donated time and resource willingly and enthusiastically to the Chamber. The Chamber's Executive Committee had a very tough decision to select this year's winner. We have so many wonderful volunteers who give their time and talent to the Chamber and our business community. However, this individual stood out from all the rest with her consistently positive attitude and depth of involvement with key Chamber committees. The new talent attraction plan identifies a target group we want to attract to move back here as boomerangs. These people who used to live in our community, moved away for a number of years, and could be recruited to move back home. This wonderful volunteer is the Queen Boomerang. She has lived and worked all over the country, but recently moved back to her hometown of Salisbury to work in the family business and to be closer with her elderly parents. She's been very busy in the Chamber, her church, and a number of other charitable organizations. She's a graduate of Leadership Rowan, involved with membership, ambassadors, annual meeting, the Dragon Boat Committee. She chairs the Workforce Development Alliance and does a great job connecting education and business together. She's a graduate of UNC Chapel Hill and is married with 2 adult children. Ladies and gentlemen, please help us recognize the Paul E. Fisher Chamber Volunteer of the Year Award winner, Rosalind Hines with Wagner Realty Company.
Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here come bad news talking this and that.
I don't know what to say. I really don't. I am so surprised and I'm so honored by this award. Mr. Fisher was actually one of the first people that employed me. I worked for him in the summers between my college years. He's been a longtime friend of my mom and dad, Julius and Barbara Wagner, and so this is just the most wonderful thing that I could have gotten. You just don't know. Ms. Fisher, thank you so much. Stephen, Paula, you just don't know how much this means because I thought the world of your dad and your husband. I really did. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I don't know what to say. I first need to say thank you because I'm very glad to be back in Salisbury. I've been gone for 30 years. Came back to work for my mom and dad and at Wagner Realty Company, and I appreciate the opportunity they provide me every day. I have to say thank you to my husband, Danny Hines. He is a wonderful support to me, a very much encourager. I just can't say thank you enough. And then I have to say thank you to the staff here at the Chamber. They're a wonderful group of people to work for, and I'm just honored every day and humbled every day to be able to be a part of this chamber. And then, of course, being back in Salisbury, it's just an amazing place to be, so much going on, so many wonderful things, wonderful opportunities here, and I'm just glad that I am back. So thank you very much for this honor. You just don't know how much it means to me, so thank you.
Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time now for our third award of the evening. Look at that. I'll tell you, I miss Paul every day. I really do. I remember when I was here a few years back, and it had been a cold January day, and I said, you know, it's been so cold today. And somebody said, how cold was it? And they said, it was so cold. I said, it was so cold that Paul Fisher's teeth were chattering, and he didn't even have them in. And I don't think anybody enjoyed it more than Paul did. So we always had a lot of fun every time I saw Paul. It's time now for the third award, the Chamber Champions Small Business of the Year. And this award tonight will be presented by Walt Wall. Walt, come on up.
The Chamber Champion Small Business of the Year Award is presented annually to an outstanding business using the following criteria. Chamber member in Rowan County small business with less than 100 employees, full-time employees. The business has achieved growth in measurable areas, sales, number of employees, or other key benchmarks to determine impact on the job market. Supports the community through financial and personal commitment. This year's award recipient meets all the criteria and more. This Rowan County business started their firm in 1966 and has grown to a staff of 16 employees. Now, I know they're sitting at their table thinking, well, that probably could be us. Their headquarters is in Salisbury and a satellite office in Southern Pines, so that's going to narrow it down a little bit. I see they're over there kind of straightening their ties and shifting around, and they're a good group. We love them. The firm's mission is helping doctors excel personally and professionally and have fun doing it. One testimonial captures their expertise and commitment to their clients. They're a valued asset. The firm makes it easy to run a practice I couldn't manage without them. The company was recognized at the Chamber's Dragon Boat Festival for the Workplace Wellness Award for taking the employee wellness beyond the usual norm of focusing on the physical well-being of employees. They are being intentional about addressing the emotional well-being of all of the team members. They are experts in the Colby assessments to make sure everyone is in the right seats and fully utilizing their God-given talents. They have hired and retained a phenomenal group of individuals throughout the past few years of the pandemic and experienced zero turnover. This firm's leadership team is dedicated to excellence to our community. They have actually had 3 of their executives serve as Chamber Champion Chairman of the Board. They recently made a significant investment in our community with an impressive headquarter building downtown. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't figured it out already, please join me in congratulating our 2022 Chamber Champion Small Business of the Year Healthcare Management Consultants. Would senior partners Tom Lobline, Stan Jordan, Todd Dagenhart, and Tim Norris please come forward?
Wow, that was unexpected. But thank you so much for this community. Thank you. Elaine, thank you for all you do at the Chamber. What a great community. You know, I was a boomerang also, and I came back after 10, 20 years and came back to this community and joined these incredible guys here, and we just have a wonderful, wonderful community here and a wonderful company, and it's just fun going to work every day. And I wish everybody could experience what we experience, and I'm sure a lot of you do. And we're in a great place to have great companies. So thank you so much. We're so appreciative. Thank you.
It's a marvelous honor. Thank you very much. Time now, ladies and gentlemen, for the Duke Energy Citizenship and Service Award. Now, this is the highest award given out by the Chamber in conjunction with Duke Energy. We'd like to call on past Chamber Chair Randy Welch at this time with Duke Energy and 2023 Chair of the Board, Elaine Holden, who will present this very special award.
So you don't like electricity that much. Good evening. For those of you who don't know me, I am Randy Welch, District Manager for this region for Duke Energy. And it's certainly my honor and privilege tonight to once again partner with the Rowan County Chamber of Commerce to present the Duke Energy Citizenship and Service Award here at Rowan County. For almost 20 years now, Duke Energy has partnered with chambers across the region to recognize outstanding community leaders, and tonight we're going to do that once again. We're honored to have that opportunity here, and I am just excited about the person who's been selected. First of all, the criteria for this award includes Rowan Chamber group or individual that demonstrates a commitment to service and civic participation over a sustained period of time for the community. Criteria number 2 is it sets a standard and fosters a culture of citizenship, service, and community responsibility. And lastly, this group or person demonstrates one or more of these business values: integrity, stewardship, inclusion, and finally, initiative. The recipient tonight has been and continues to be a person that has made a difference in this community, and we know they will continue to make a difference well into the future. So thanks again to the Rowan Chamber for partnering with us again for this award, and I know you're excited to learn more about this year's recipient, and for that, I'm going to turn it over to Elaine. So thank you.
This year's recipient of our most prestigious award goes to someone very special. This person has served in numerous leadership roles in our community, from chair of the Chamber Board to chair of the Rowan Economic Development Board to Habitat for Humanity, his church, Rotary Club, and many charitable organizations. He was one of the key community leaders who helped bring our major economic development organizations under one roof, now the Paul E. Fisher Gateway Building in downtown Salisbury. This individual is one who seeks the wisdom of the group and helped the Chamber establish a past Chairs Council to continue the connection with our experienced community leaders. As the new chair of the board, I will lean into the wisdom of this group, and especially this individual often. Our recipient retired from a 40-year career in public accounting and could have easily rested on his laurels. However, he felt called to continue serving his community. Most recently, he serves as the special assistant to the president at Livingstone College and was instrumental in providing strategic guidance as Livingstone transitioned from President Dr. Jimmy Jenkins to its newest president, Dr. Anthony Davis. Our community's relationship with Livingstone College has been strengthened by the Fridays at the Stone breakfast and speaker series, which was created and brought to fruition by this person. I personally have been blessed and educated by the fellowship of these early Friday mornings. He's a graduate of UNC Chapel Hill and has been married to his wife Debbie for 41 plus years. I dare say, he humbly lives out one of his favorite quotes from missionary and martyr Jim Elliot. He is no fool who gives what he cannot keep to gain what he cannot lose. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me in congratulating the winner of the Duke Energy Citizenship and Service Award, Mr. Pete Teague.
Elaine said, I need a hug. I need a hug, but if y'all know me, I always need a hug. I give them out all the time. First of all, I want to say I have no laurels to rest on, so that was never an issue. Never an issue. I do want to say thank you. First, I want to thank my wife, Debbie, who's here tonight, for putting up with me for those 41 plus years. That is correct. And I'm delighted to have so many of my Livingstone associates here. I can't see you because the lights are, right here, but I know you're there. Tom Lobline, you talked about getting up in the morning and going to work, and what a pleasure. I echo that. I feel that way myself. It's been such a blessing. This award that is named, one of the words in it is service, and that's one of my favorite words. It is one of my goals that I certainly don't always meet, to serve my Lord, to serve my fellow man, and to serve my community. Those things are very important to me, and fortunately they go together, because I serve my Lord by serving my fellow man and my community. Community is also one of my favorite words, and it's been mentioned tonight. This award doesn't have that name in it, but it could. It would apply very much. It's already been said tonight that this is a wonderful community, and it is, and it's a pleasure to serve in this community. And as I look around this room, if I could see your faces better, I would be able to say, and I will say, that first of all, this is an honor, but it's also humbling, because I think about all the people in the room, and I realize I don't deserve this any more than so many of you. But you know what? I've worked with so many of you in so many ways over the years, and even still do, and it's such a pleasure to do that. But the work that you do is what makes this community so wonderful to live and to work. So I just want to thank you for that, and I want to thank all of you for all that you do. Let's keep on making Salisbury Rowan such a great community and an even better community. Thank you very much.
Well, we are seeing some very special and beloved members of the community honored during this evening. And we have a very special last presentation that we would like to share with you tonight. So to present this very special award, I'm going to call on Chair-elect Terry Osborne to join us on stage right now with the Rowan-Kannapolis ABC Board, along with Kyle Bridges with Senator Ted Budd's office. Please, gentlemen, join me on stage now.
Thank you, Kyle, for joining us. I've got to do one thing before we go into this award ceremony. In the closing months of Senator Bob Dole's life in the end of 21, and those wonderful moments spending time with him, whether it was by phone or with him person to person, he shared those many moments of his well, he was a very humble man, but many moments of his gratefulness and all his contributions in so many ways to this country. A minority leader, majority leader. He was a hero in World War II. Candidate for vice president, candidate for president. He serves us so well, and we need so many like him now in Congress to unite us. But the thing he said in those last days, my final visit, he said, T.O., he said, Russell, Kansas is my home, but he said, Salisbury, North Carolina, because of my bride, will always be my home also. He loves Salisbury, North Carolina. He said, anytime you have a large gathering in Salisbury, he said, if you don't mind, in my memory, he said, would you please tell them how much I love them? And he said, Salisbury is my home too. So I figured what a wonderful gathering this was, and all of our leaders and all you wonderful people here tonight, what a time to share. And thank you. And Tom Loblind, he said if it was everything, Tom, come up here right quickly. Where you at? Semper Fi, the Marine. You know, this reminds me so much of Bob because, after his terrible injury in World War II, he could have called it a day. He was going into medical field. And then he, with the loss of hand usage, he knew he couldn't go there, so he went into law. And then he went on to serve this country so well. And until he has been part of a cause larger than himself, no man is truly whole. That was one of my favorite all-time quotes, and now I add, no man or woman is truly whole. I bring Tom up because today, and Bob said, if you ever get a chance to honor the military in a special way, today is a special way. Here's a guy who served in the military so long, serving his country, then came home. He didn't call it a day. He could have easily done so, and you see he just got another honor there. And it is phenomenal, Tom. And on this day, being a historian, former American history teacher, in 1973, Vietnam finally ended on this date in 1973. So in honor of Bob Dole and in honor of all you military personnel, any military personnel in this audience tonight, please stand and let us recognize you. Thank you so very much. Steve, what a special moment. I'm going to probably get a little emotional here. You remember back in November 2021, a seed was planted. We talked about, and his name has been mentioned so many times here tonight. And there's a special award. Our Constitution requires that everything stated daily, everything that is spoken of on the halls and the halls of Congress every day has to be recorded. It has to be recorded. Since 1873, those things have been recorded in the congressional record. On that day, we said what a great honor it would be for a special person to be recognized in the congressional record. Not many realize that in the congressional record in the halls of Congress, every day, everything that is stated, everything that is accomplished, everything that they debate, it goes in the congressional record. But also, a nominee can be made a special person who has done so much and can receive a special honor. And this man had a cause all his entire life. He served in the military. Again, he could have come home and, lived just a so-so life, but no. As Kennedy said, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. He not only did for his country, but then he came home, he said, ask not what your community can do for you, ask what you can do for your community. And tonight, on that day, and then Senator Hudson, we went through and not knowing, with an election coming up, We didn't know who our congressman would be, and we didn't know for sure. We knew that there was an election for a senator that has served us so well. You can put your politics aside, but it's true. They have served us well. There have been three congressional members who have served us. Dan Bishop, of course, also now serving us, and all of them have been instrumental in some form or fashion in this award tonight. But I want to personally thank Kyle, who now is Deputy State Director for now Senator Budd. Every day that Elaine and I would call Kyle to help us get this award presentation, this award granted, he may be busy, he may be in the middle of something, but in a matter of minutes, he would return the call. Kyle, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate, and I tell you, Senator Budd is very fortunate to have you on his team, I can assure you. He has been phenomenal, and anytime anybody needs assistance and help, he's been there for us. But now, as I said, that congressional record is very, very special. Steve, Miss Sue, and the family, would you all come forward, please? Since last week was what it was, and we honored Dr. King last week, and that day before he was assassinated, he said, "I have been to the mountaintop, and I want many of you to go to the mountaintop, share all your talents." He knew his time was coming, but he said, "I may not be there with you." The same thing with Mr. Paul. What a legend. He knew he had taken his talents to the mountaintop. Probably Dr. King inspired him with those quotes. And so tonight, he challenged all of us in this room, and thank God all of you are taking it to the mountaintop. You all are leaders, and we love you all for it, and I mean that. You are phenomenal. And this family is so fortunate because I know he challenged them to take their talents to the mountaintop. So Kyle, I would like you to come forward on behalf of Senator Budd, read this and present this award, please.
Thank you, T.O. Good evening, everyone. As Mr. Chairman, or Terry Osborne, or T.O. Said, my name is Kyle Bridges. I'm Senator Budd's Deputy State Director. Before Congressman Ted Budd transitioned to the Senate, one of the last official actions he did in those last 2 weeks of the 117th Congress was submit for the record on Monday, December 6, 2022, some remarks to honor the life and legacy of Paul E. Fisher. He's asked me to come tonight to share those remarks and then present them to the Fisher family. And the remarks are, I rise today to commend the life of my fellow North Carolinian, Paul E. Fisher. Mr. Fisher was a driving force behind F&M Financial Corporation and F&M Bank for almost 60 years. He was a tireless community leader and volunteer until his passing on October 30th, 2020. As chairman and CEO of F&M Bank, Mr. Fisher believed that community banking offered an opportunity to improve the quality of life for his clients and communities that he was privileged to serve. He volunteered on the North Carolina Banking Commission for a decade and was president and treasurer of the North Carolina Banking Association, in addition to serving 2 terms as dean of the North Carolina School of Banking. Forever tied to his success at F&M Bank, Mr. Fisher was better known for his warm heart and decades of local fundraising efforts. Those efforts include the local YMCA, the Rowan County Chamber of Commerce Gateway Building, the Rowan Helping Ministries Homeless Shelter, the Rowan Educational Foundation, the Bell Tower Green Park, as well as a myriad of other facilities and causes, ranging from arts healthcare, human needs, and youth. He always wanted to leave the world a little better than he found it. Over his nearly 83 years, Mr. Fisher had a very simple recipe for life. Show up, find a way to be useful, and love with all of your heart. He was grateful for the friendship and love shown to him by the people of Rowan County, the state of North Carolina, and all those who helped him along his life's path. Mr. Speaker, I'm proud to commend Mr. Paul E. Fisher of F&M Bank in Salisbury, North Carolina, for a lifetime of service to his community. Signed sincerely, Congressman Ted Budd. And on behalf of Senator Ted Budd, I'd like to present a signed copy of the records to the Fisher family. Thank you.
Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Who cares about the clouds if we're together? Just sing a song and bring the sunny weather. Happy trails.
To appropriately thank everyone for this recognition. Paul was truly a visionary. He could see things that most other people could not see. But vision without action is just a dream. Action without vision is a waste of time. Paul was a vision in action. That can change the world. Our family's prayer is that we all learn from Paul's teachings, that we follow his example. We as a family try to do that. We fail sometimes, but we work on it. And we are overwhelmed with gratitude. And I am so, so humbled to accept this on Paul's behalf. And I'm very thankful to Elaine, the entire chamber, Terry, Ted Budd's office, and all of you. And I would like to take just a minute to recognize the rest of my family who is not on stage, and that would be Robin, if you would please stand. Irv, my son-in-law, and Baba, my grandson, and Eliza Pearl. And I thank everybody in this room. And I'm very humbled. Thank you.
What a special evening we have had. It has been a marvelous evening. And we have shared the honors of so many wonderful people here in this community. I admire and appreciate each and every one of you, too. We have one more item of business, I do believe, before we leave this evening, and that's a short video that we would like to show you at this time.
A chamber is a space.
But in Rowan County,
This space is not a dark, empty void.
It's a place full of opportunity for businesses and entrepreneurs to shine bright.
Thanks to the support and strength of the Rowan Chamber of Commerce.
We're open to all to create lasting connections within our network.
From bold business leaders, caring community partners, and enthusiastic elected officials.
Our members serve their community in the best way they know.
Together, we are better.
So join us as we beam brighter.
So join us as we beam brighter.
So join us as we beam brighter.
And continue to advocate for the local people, places, and things that make Rowan original.
Our future shines bright because of you.
Give yourself a big round of applause. Well, I have just a couple of closing remarks that are going to seem very anticlimactic, but they asked me to make these following announcements. Please do not take the table decor home with you. I don't know why they felt they had to remind some of you of that, but just don't take that home. And, oh, it's Jake Alexander's out there. That's why they made that announcement. I got it now, okay. And if you purchase Bourbon Pull, please pick up your bottle on the way out the door. All right, and thank you so much for being a part of this wonderful event. Thank you, and have a safe trip home.